Hey, what's going on, Statterbox Crew? Welcome to Chatter with Statter here Sunday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. I think it is the time. Yes, it is. That is 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast if you're where I'm at. We're looking at 1:30 p.m. Hawaii time and 7:30 on that East Coast. I think we're looking at about midnight 30 in the UK. Not sure if anyone's here yet, but I am super stoked to be here this Sunday afternoon. Started off a great day. A little bit of a surprise. Our friend Andy Bumatai went live this morning. Unbeknownst to all of us, we were expecting him to show up tomorrow, but alas, today he showed face. What a great, great surprise. Poppy Shaney's in the house. Good afternoon. How are you today? I'm glad to see you here. I am super excited about today. I have absolutely nothing to talk about, and so it's going to be all about what we create. And normally, when I hit the airwaves with absolutely nothing in mind, I'm freaking out. But for some reason today, I'm just ready to roll with it. So there we are. I hope you guys are ready to roll with it too. That's what we do here at Chatter with Statter. We see where the chatter scatters. So, all right, I want to show off my little intro here. So let's go with this one right now. All right, there we have it. I love that little black cat intro that Andy was the one who created. Yes, I know I haven't mentioned it out loud before, but I think we all knew who made that video. It is our friend Andy in Hawaii. Medium 7 Up, great to see you. Poppy Shaney, my wit will reign supreme only if we've got people to chatter with, because let me tell you, the wit runs thin after a little while. I'm sure everyone knows that, I repeat myself every once in a while. Or let me say, I repeat myself every once in a while. Excellent. So, Kenny Casey, good to see you, my you dynamic dame, you. Well, speaking of dynamics, gosh, you guys, thank you so much for showing up last night at Coraline on the Twitch side of the platforms. I actually had a great time, and I hope you guys did too. I, as mentioned before, hadn't ever seen that video or that movie, and was really unsure about the appropriateness of Halloween, whether or not I'd like it, whether or not anybody would like it. I kind of thought it was a cute movie. It was a weird movie, but I like weird, so that's not even a problem. Oh, cool. Looks like Andre's here. Hey, Andre. How you doing? Awesome. E.T. Guerrero, Elaine, good to see you. I'm glad that people are coming in the house. Yeah, Parenting 101 Coraline edition. There you go. Oh, good, good. Oh, good. Medium 7 Up. Good. I'm glad that you enjoyed, even though you'd already seen it, I'm glad that you enjoyed the movie as well. So, I was just excited that people actually showed up yesterday, because earlier on Thursday, I had basically convinced myself that it's just like, oh, nothing's going to be happening on Saturday. I can't find anything to show. Lo and behold, stumbled upon Coraline. It seemed to be seasonally appropriate. And people actually showed up. And not only did people show up, they showed up with bells and whistles. Hype train ensued. I don't even couldn't that just blew me away. Thank you so much. But next week, so I have some plans that may or may not work. And the plans are, I'm going to be downloading some software that will allow me to download movies like an illegal person, I guess, or something off of the internet. But I don't know whether or not that's going to work, because technology for me doesn't always work my first try. So, assuming that I don't find a movie to download, I have a movie on YouTube that we can watch. It's a Tyler Perry movie. It's Boo, Medea Halloween or something like that. It's one of the Medea series. Now, Tyler Perry's Medea series, I'm not so sure that they're necessarily family friendly, but they are oddly wholesome. Um, so do with that combination as you will. So the plan as of right now is to try to find one of the movies that we have on the list that everyone suggested. If I'm unable to get one of those, then the Tyler Perry Boo A Medea Halloween will be the one that we're watching. Now, I don't know if y'all have ever watched any of the Tyler Perry's movies, but quite honestly, they're hysterical. So hopefully you guys will join me at the Statterbox at the cinema next week for perhaps it's Tyler Perry's Boo Medea Halloween or perhaps something else. I will definitely keep y'all notified and updated, but I can tell you that we do have something on the schedule, and it is actually literally a Halloween movie. So I think that's pretty good. And Andre, exactly. Family friendly depends on your family, without a doubt. Honestly, I mean, his movies aren't necessarily, I have no doubt in my mind that 95% of kids 8 and up would just be like, there's nothing in a Tyler Perry movie that shocks me. On the other hand, I don't know everybody's lifestyles. I don't know everybody's situations. So, Tyler Perry movies sometimes show some realistic things that happen in families that, well, are funny, but not maybe necessarily something that people want to talk about over dinner or whatever. So, Medea, I don't know how everybody says it a little bit differently, so I'm sorry if I said Medea wrong. Um, so let's see here. It looks like, oh, hey, Lee, good to see you. I'm glad that you're able to stay awake for this show. I know that you try and set your alarm to catch the gang here at the Statterbox. But I think I heard you telling me you were working like 6 days a week. So goodness gracious, if you have to take a nap, you've got my permission, that's for sure. Yeah, so let's see here. Poppy Shaney asks, Luke has the Lono crew. Do I have a name yet for us in the chat on your channel? Right now, I've just been referring to you guys as the Statterbox crew, sort of like Chatterbox, but Statterbox. But honestly, it doesn't have to remain that, or it can remain that, and we can expand beyond it. So, like I've been saying Statterbox, but yeah, what are you guys? I don't get to name you guys. What do you guys want to call yourself? Like what is it? Who are you? Tell me, who are you? Yeah. So, Andre, what is the Seattle freeze? Oh, that is Lee Michimoto, you set your alarm because you have a bad memory. Yeah, lots of people do. Not to mention, honestly, I couldn't have picked a more random time to start a stream. It just so happens that it works well for me. But 4:30, 1:30, I mean, like, who does that? I do. But yeah, there you go. So, Andre, I will get back to that, but I'm catching up on some other stuff. Kenny, Casey, Chatter with Statter, get in, hang on, Buttercup. We don't know where this ride is going. We don't even know where we're gonna, how we're gonna get there, but it won't be boring. Well, I'm glad you think it won't be boring. So, yeah, so okay, so eMusic was thinking that you were the chatters, right? The Statter chatters. See, that's good too, and I like that. I like that a lot. As it might have been obvious, I have been going with the rhyming scheme lately. The chatter always scatters, it statters. So yeah, the Statter chatters, the Statterbox crew. We've got. It seems like we've got a theme we can definitely work with here. We're in agreement. So back to Andre. What is the Seattle freeze? The Seattle freeze is typically known as. Oh, hey Cindy, good to see you. The Seattle freeze is a phenomena that. Transplants to Seattle say that they experience when they move to the city trying to interact with the locals. The locals are decidedly unfriendly. We do not initiate conversation. We do not say hi on the streets. We keep to ourselves, and we basically, quite honestly, we have the opposite of the aloha spirit. Like, yeah, you might, you're doing we might be sharing space, but you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, and unless we have to interact, we probably won't. That's basically the Seattle freeze. I have been told by more than one transplant to Seattle that like people that guess what? I talk to people. And so when people find out that I am from here and I am an actual like real life local, for the most part across the board, I get the exact same response, which is, wow, you're the first person I've met who's friendly. So we just basically, what is the Seattle Freeze? The Seattle Freeze is someone who's, I guess, like opposite of me. That we don't talk to people in the grocery store lines. I do. We don't strike up conversations with strangers. Is what the Seattle Freeze is. So it's really difficult to make friends when you move to Seattle. When I used to go to the bars a lot, people would always assume that I was a tech transplant because I was easy with conversation. And then when they found out that I actually was from Seattle, sometimes they would get a little like, oh, well, are you going to be angry at me when I tell you that I'm not from Seattle? And it's like, no, dude, I know you're not from Seattle. Like, please. So, yeah, so that's what the Seattle Freeze is. So, excuse me. Yeah, so Medium 7 Up, everybody wants to know how the symphony was. So definitely if you feel like sharing your experience, I saw the picture. It was quite lovely, the theater inside. Wow. So yeah. Um Whoa, John Williams was there? Okay, so it looks like Medium 7 Up had already been talking about this. And so it was a great symphony, four conductors, including John Williams. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, no wonder you were super stoked about going there. Um, so Andre, okay, so there is some truth to the second rudest place for outsiders being the state of Washington. Only ruder to outsiders is supposed to be Alaska. Oh, absolutely. I do not I've never been to Alaska and I'm not at all surprised. But Alaska is probably an awful lot like this tiny town that I know of up in Idaho, called Pierce, and it's up in the mountains, and there's like 400 people. And when it's winter there, you're up on the mountain for months, you're not really able to leave. And people, it's a very cold, dark, isolated place. The locals there, as a general rule of thumb, because the lifestyle is so taxing, they generally don't even bother to introduce themselves to their new neighbors until the neighbors have been there for at least 3 winters. If the neighbors can survive 3 winters, then they're going to be there for the long haul. And so they're worth getting to know. And that is the attitude up in Pierce. So for the first like 3 years that you're in Pierce, you're not going to know anybody, even though it's a town of 400. How do you not know anybody in a town of 400, right? Well, that's how Pierce is. So I have no doubt that Alaska has a similar phenomenon. It's just like, why bother, get to know you? Because you're only going to be here for 1 winter and you're not going to be able to hack it. So you go do your thing. Experiment with Alaska, and once you figure out whether Alaska's for you, then Alaska will come calling. I mean, I don't know. I've obviously, like I said, I've never been to Alaska, but I can only assume that has got to be a factor in Alaska being one of the rudest states. I'd never heard that they were that rude, but um, if they are, that is my theory. And come on, I think we already know here. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, like, if you know the real reason why they're rude in Alaska, then, let me know, because I'm just guessing here. Um, yeah. So, uh, okay. So Medium 7 Up. It was the Boston Symphony Orchestra. Everyone was vaxxed or had a negative test and all masked. Oh, nice. You went to the upper balcony, so you didn't have anyone sitting near you. Yeah, the picture that you posted on social media, wherever it was, Facebook, let's say Facebook, looked like it was up high. I probably would have done that too, actually. Like, just get me far. Get me far. Um, so, oh no, Lee, I didn't realize that your stove was kaput. That sucks. I hope it's only a burner replacement. Oh, but you know what? Actually, it's home repair, right? So when it comes, I don't know what's wrong with your oven or your stove there, Lee, but I was actually able to replace the heating element in my oven went out once. Actually, it's gone out twice, and I've replaced it both times, all by myself. Like it's literally, it's one of the easiest home repairs you can do. So just make sure that the thing is unplugged or your fuse box is off for it, and it's literally like two screws. I think probably, and it's actually the part isn't that expensive. So I have high hopes that your stove is only minimally um kaput, and so hopefully you can make it strong again because I've been able to make mine strong again. Unlike the dishwasher situation. But I think I might have mentioned it before. My sink has been fixed. So now the dishwasher, as soon as the part comes in, I'm starting to think that the part's never going to come in though. But as soon as the part comes in, you guys will be the first ones to know about it. That's for sure. And I'll hopefully get it fixed. Um, yeah. So, so let's see. Oh, hold on, wait. Medium 7 Up, are you kidding me? John Williams conducted the Imperial March, aka Darth Vader's theme as a Hana. Oh, I of course, right, as the encore. That must have been kind of cool to see live. I mean, quite honestly, I mean, honestly, that's the only reason why I know who John Williams is, frankly, is because of Star Wars. So, um, yeah, that is super awesome. That is super awesome. Oh, good. Oh, good, Lee. Your son is a repairman who specializes in stoves and microwaves. People repair microwaves? People repair microwaves? Awesome. Okay. Um oh, hey Ron, I did not see you sneak in. And you know what? I think I didn't see I was responding to Darlene, but I didn't even say hi to Darlene. So Ron, Darlene, good to see you guys. Hold on one moment. Oh my. All right then. So yeah, totally. What a great coincidence that her son works for Sears. Hey, Lee, your son works for Sears? See if he can get my part because I ordered my part through Sears. I'm kidding. Obviously, it's not his problem. He doesn't work in the dishwasher section. I get it. But like gosh darn it, man, Sears, would you just get me my little part? Jeez Louise. Um So let's see. Oh, if the element in your stove goes out, you're truly sunk. Your stove is so old. Moses baked matzo bread in it. That's funny. Ah, oh yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah. Oh, you don't want to. Right. Don't want to get a new stove. Right. You just want to. You want when you remodel, you want to get everything together. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um. Um, yeah, right, exactly. I mean, it's just like I thought I okay, first off, I don't have a microwave, but I kind of consider microwaves disposable. I mean, the only thing in a microwave that I would fix is like if I shattered the glass plate that twirls, then I would want to go get a new glass plate. But like other than that, like what? But okay, you're right, Andre. There are some fancy pants built-in ones, so I guess yeah, I guess. Um, let's see here. So, right, Rick says, "No way could I fix our gas range top here. It's Sears from 1968. You'd be waiting on parts forever." Yeah, yeah. Because quite honestly, I mean, I say this not as just as a figure of speech, but the parts for that stove, Rick, they don't make them like that anymore. I mean, right? They're just, those are good quality, heavy duty things. I don't think that there's anything they make in modern times that probably would be compatible with a 68 stove. That's funny. What are you talking about? Medium 7 Up. So at the symphony today, the Boston Pops conductor did the ringtone cycle, four movements based on ringtone melodies. Okay, that's funny. And better than the original ring cycle. But that's what a cute take. That's classical music is keeping up with the times. That's so awesome. Lee, yeah, exactly. You've gone to Goodwill to get replacement glass plates for your clients. Actually, it's funny you should say that. I down the street from my house as I was driving home yesterday, I noticed that someone had two microwaves that they had left on the side of the road. Now, I don't care whether or not the microwaves work, because I don't want them. I don't have a microwave in my house, but I honestly did consider stopping to see if the glass dishes were still in there, because I know that I mean that's what breaks. It's like everybody, if there's anything that gets screwed up about the microwave, it's like the glass dishes. And I just thought, oh, well, I wonder if I could sell them on eBay or something for super cheap. I mean, they're right on the side of the road. I didn't stop the car. I didn't check, but it did cross my mind, just literally for the glass dishes or the plates, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. The swirly things. Um, yeah, exactly, Ron. See, I'm glad that I'm not the only one who thinks that microwave ovens are throwaway items. Yeah, it used to be that all appliances could be fixed. Yeah, televisions these days are throwaway items, which really disturbs me. Especially like those really, remember those huge, like the original big screens, the ones that, are like 5 feet deep and 6 feet wide and have a projector and whatever. When I see those on the side of the road, it's just like, God, that just seems like toxic waste. Um, but you can't fix it. So, and why would you want to? Because the technology is for televisions has evolved so much beyond that you'd be fixing trash basically at that point. And Andre, it would be great if people could print 3D print old parts for things, but I don't have a 3D printer, and I sure as heck don't have a 3D printer with the right kind of materials needed for my part. But I wouldn't be surprised if one day that's exactly, what what eventually happens, right? Um yeah, so yeah, the turntables, I guess is what it is, e-music. Yeah, the microwave turntables. Gosh, I wonder if people who are like, younger than probably everybody here, with the maybe the exception of medium 7 up, I wonder if, the kids, if when someone says the term turntable, if they think of the thing in the microwave instead of what I think of, which is a record player. Um, just a random thought here. Um, Kenny Casey, your house was built in 1968. You hate trying to replace or fix appliances. Kenny, your house is brand new. 1968. This little house here is built in like 1952. 1968 seems like a perfectly reasonably new home. I mean, yeah, I know it's not. Um, so, Lee, oh, you're funny. Your sister is a hairstylist, but she has a money-making hobby. She bought and sold shabby chic furniture, etc. One time, she stopped on the main drag and started picking through someone's cast-off household stuff. You helped her load her van. Lee, not only do I appreciate what you and your sister did, I can honestly tell you that I have two that I can think of off the top of my head. Um, Cabinets that are one of them I treat as my pantry, even though it's in my living room, and then the other one is in my kitchen. But literally, cupboards. They were cupboard units that someone had put aside on on the sidewalk. And one day I was driving around doing errands for work, and it was a full size, 4-door cupboard thing that used to be under the counter. Um, no, wait, no, this one, no, there was the under the counter unit, and then there was the above the counter unit. And I left the under the counter unit, but I took the above the counter unit and put it in the back of my car, and now I've got it hanging in my living room. And then there's another another time I was walking to 7-Eleven from my house, and someone left a perfectly good, I think it's supposed to be a bathroom cabinet. But it was a good size. My kitchen's super small, so it was a good size for my kitchen, and I needed more cupboard space because I needed more cupboard space. And so I drug the cabinet off the sidewalk into a bush, and then I walked home and got in my car and drove to the bush and got the cabinet from the bush, and now that cabinet's in my kitchen. So yeah, dude, like I've gotten yard tools off the side of the road. I've the step stool that I'm looking at on the other side of my desk I got off the side of the road. I've found shoes for my friends that were brand new and probably stolen, but they were in the 7-Eleven parking lot. Yeah, you get it where you can. In the city, sometimes stuff is just literally laying there waiting to be taken. So take it, right? Oh no, wait, what's Michael Anthony Smith? Good to see you. Um, and oh, medium 7 up. You don't think that they hear the phrase turntable? Okay, all right, makes sense. Um, so wait, let's see here. Michael Anthony Smith came in, but what is going through? Oh, and where burst through chat saloon doors? Howdy, Mad Statter. Sorry to mosey in late. That's okay. Mosey on in whenever y'all want. This is good. I'm glad to see everyone's coming back in. And, this morning happened so long ago. I cannot remember if Ann Ware or Michael Anthony Smith was on the stream today. In fact, I really don't even remember who was on the stream today. When Andy, just in case y'all didn't know, Andy went on for a couple hours. He went long, and yeah, so we're not going to be able to see him tomorrow, which kind of sucks, but he's going to be coming back next week, and that makes me very happy. So um and then let's see. So Michael Anthony Smith, it sounds like you had some sort of Facebook dilemma, and I'm not sure what that is, and I'm not sure I'm seeing it in the chat. So yeah, what's up with the Facebook dilemma, man? Like, is there anything we can do? Okay, and you did miss the live stream. I thought that I didn't see you there. But yeah. So, so so Kenny and Rick are lamenting their late 60s kitchen remodel with all the Sears colors of 60s and the cabinets too. Well, Kenny, Rick, maybe this will make you feel a little bit better. One day after I bought my house, I would say years after I bought my house, I looked at all of the cabinets that came with my house, all of the cabinets that were in my kitchen. And I realized that every single unit was just a slightly different color. So I feel as though my house was like decorated with the floor model of the different cabinet finishes that were available for whatever kind of cabinet that is. And you only really notice it in the right light, but like every single segment is just one shade. Like it starts over there, the darkest, and it just slowly moves to the lightest color. Um, and it's a good thing that I am not like once I noticed it, it almost drove me nuts. But then it was just like, no, I'm not gonna focus on this. Um, but I have no doubt in my mind that not too many people would be able to just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna look at this," because really, if you do look at it, it kind of is just like, "Ah." But it took me years, so whatever. Yeah, right, exactly. Andre, they found the cabinets by the flipping roadside. You've got to be. That's exactly it. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Good to see you earlier this morning, and good to see you today. It looks like yeah, there we go. There you are, Chris. Happy to see you. So, let's see here. So what? Okay, so, um, Michael Anthony Smith, are you flippin', flirpin', kidding me? I thought the whole point of having your birthday announced on Facebook was so people could tell you happy birthday, and then maybe you could tell them thanks back. Facebook told you that you got flagged for sending responses back to people wishing you happy birthday. I would be so pissed at Zuckerberg right now. I mean, this stupid algorithm, I shouldn't. Facebook is a service that we all use for free. We're the commodity, I guess. I don't know whether or not I should be angered by the fact that I'm a willing commodity with them and then they do stuff like that, but that is just ridiculous. And Darlene, is olive green still in? I think it is, as long as you call it sage. Okay, that just cracked me up. Sorry. Yeah. So, your parents still have the kitchen cabinets that were in their house when they moved in the 70s. They're mid 60s cabinets. You've been begging to them to redo the kitchen for about 20 years. I don't know. I mean, cabinets are cabinets, man. I'm a miser, so I guess that's what it is. But it's just like, really? I mean, like, paint them or something. I don't know. Um, yeah, avocado shag in the family room for 20 years. Yeah, totally. That avocado, olive green, well, sage. Yeah, that was a popular one, all right. Oh, goodness gracious. So, do you have a hospital named Zuckerberg in San Francisco? That actually doesn't really surprise me. I'm gonna put you in Zuckerberg. Hmm. I don't know if I like that as an insult. So let's see here. Hey, Yamamoto-san. Good to see you guys. I'm super stoked that we're all hanging out here today. And let's see here. Uh, oh, okay, Anne. Okay, so you get being frugal, but they don't work well anymore. Oh, so they're all hamajang and falling off and everything. Oh, yeah. Well, then, yeah, they need to be fixed. Then they need to. Well, I say that, and then I remember. Oh, wait, one of my doors is kind of cocky with this, and one of my shelves is kind of offset. Yeah, I'm still a miser. What do you know? Uh, yeah, yeah. You know what, Lee? You're totally right. Michael Anthony Smith, listen to Lee. Facebook has lost its bloody mind. And they find something you said 5 years ago and counted against you. I actually got put in Facebook jail for 3 days. 3 days. Because I don't know if you guys remember, I think it's Old El Paso. They had this television commercial for their their taco shells, and they were selling a package of taco shells that had half soft and half hard. And there was a little girl in there who her little catch line was por qué no las dos? Por qué no las dos? Why not both? Can't we have both? I posted like a 2-second video from YouTube of the little girl saying, "Por qué no las dos?" as a response to someone, because I was asking, well, why don't you just do both? I don't even remember what I was suggesting they do both of, but I was like, why don't just do both? I got sent to jail for 3 Facebook days. No, wait, Facebook jail for 3 days over a why not both? I it I mean, it wasn't like I was saying, why not kill both Zuckerberg and Bezos? Like that was not, it was literally as benign as why not have a taco shell that's hard and a taco shell that's soft. Yeah, Facebook has lost their bloody mind. Yeah, well, exactly. Um, yeah, 1987 Aware is hardly, and that's hardly a brand new kitchen. So maybe you should think to your own cabinets. But then again, I guess in comparison to your parents' cabinets, it's like a brand spanking new set of kitchens. So yeah, Zuckerberg, of course, he paid for the naming, and now a lot of people want to change it back to General. You know. I'm not really surprised after this whole space race, while the while the world is seemingly ending with the pandemic and everything, I think people are getting a little bit tired of the whole people with too much money kind of thing. I don't know. You know what? That just could be that's just me projecting, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, I'm getting tired of that. Uh, so, okay, you're in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, but you live in Tulsa, Arizona on Thursday. So, all right. So, hopefully, you'll be able to tune in on Thursday. Now, I can only assume that Arizona doesn't have too many Hawaiian food places, but I'll bet you they've got some pretty good Mexican food places. So, what's up with the food in Arizona? Chris, do you bother to look for the Hawaiian style grinds, or do you just go where it's like, oh no, this is what this we're gonna go with Mexican food here. This is what we got to do here. So, uh, speak Spanish, go to jail. Well, I don't know. I mean, well, okay, Andre, I'll tell you this much. If I try to speak Spanish, I might go to jail because I will mangle the language like nobody's business. But the little girl was speaking it just fine. It wasn't me who was saying it. Um, so let's see here. Kenny, Facebook jail. Did you get a Facebook jail tattoo or a Facebook? No, I didn't get a Facebook jail tattoo, but I do have a couple badges of Facebook jail honor. That's for sure. Those who did hard time. uh, Oh, ooh, Lee. Okay, so you got married in 1976, so all your stuff was avocado green, even though I wasn't crazy about the color. Yeah, you have no choice. In 1976, you had no choice. You still have your Pyrex bowls that are different shades of green. The largest one, avo green. You know, those might actually be worth something. Are the Pyrex bowls that you've got, are they the white ones that are like the white glass or the white Pyrex with then the green print or whatever, because I think that those are actually worth stuff. I mean, like real money. I got rid of so much of my mom's Corningware and Pyrex stuff, and I am kicking myself. I kept the good stuff. I kept the good enameled cast iron stuff, the cast iron stuff, blah blah blah. But like as far as like just the serving dishes and the Corningwares or whatever, it was just yeah. Um, I just gave it away and I'm really bummed. Um, yeah. Hey, Corey, good to see you, Broken Soul. You're in Idaho. Oh, not Idaho. You're in Ohio at the moment. Today you found a restaurant that had poke bowls and you opted for ahi nigiri and gyoza, though. Oh, well, Well, okay, first off, always opt for the gyoza, right? I mean, am I the only one? Right? No, you always get gyoza. So, yeah, the Pyrex is well, it's funny because Pyrex, not all Pyrex is worth the money, apparently. Pyrex, I guess, sold their company, so it's like a certain year, prior to a certain year, the Pyrex is really worth a lot. And then after the next, after whoever bought up the new stuff, it's a different formula of glass. It's not as good, blah, blah, blah. I went down a rabbit hole a few years ago in regards to that. And I learned an awful. I wish I could remember all I learned about. I learned, I learned, and then probably forgot more about Pyrex than anyone needs to know about Pyrex. But yeah, the old Pyrex is definitely seriously worth money. It's so weird, some of the stuff that's worth money. I have a tart tin from Canada, which I guess really originated in England. I got it from my grandma. People are paying like $45 for this tart tin that I have, and it's like I kind of considered selling it because it's like I don't ever make tarts. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, it's my grandma's tart tin. I don't want to just get rid of it. Um, so oh, you're gonna go to New York City this weekend, or this week, Miles, and you'll be getting some spam musubi. I know that I say musubi wrong to a lot of people on the islands, but when I say lumpia or musubi to people up here in the Pacific Northwest, they look at me like I'm just crazy. Like even Filipino people, when I said lumpia to this one lady, she was just like, that's not how you say it. I was like, all right, whatever. I've been told other, but okay. But I wasn't going to argue with the old lady because the old lady, I was at this place. I'll show you right now where I was at. I was at the lumpia factory, and they pronounce it lumpia, not lumpia. It's lumpia. And at the lumpia factory, let me just tell you right now, best flippin' lumpia comes from Kitsap County, hands down. It's where I grew up, and I don't know what it is about Kitsap County lumpia, but it's just the way it's supposed to be. And at the lumpia factory, there is um there is basically they have for you to choose, they have pork lumpia, beef lumpia, banana lumpia, chicken adobo, pork adobo, and pandesal. And that's their menu. If you don't want any of that, then you don't belong. Oh, no, no, no. They've got pancit. They've got pancit as well. So if you don't want any of that, then you don't need to go to the lumpia factory. But if you want that, then there you go. They've got you covered. And frankly, I could probably live on the food from the lumpia factory. I love the lumpia factory, and that's why I took a picture of it when I was back in my hometown because I love the lumpia factory. So there you go. How about that? Um, so yeah, and exactly. If you keep anything long enough, it'll become trendy again eventually. Yeah, just like you said, you're the almond colored. Now it's like, well, now it's buttercream. It's you could just label it a different color. It's not avocado. It's sage. It's back in style. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Chris, you're gonna go L&L barbecue, Hawaiian barbecue. Yeah, I hope it's a good one because the L&L in my town is super good. I really like the L&L in my town. We've got two Hawaiian places in my town. One of them's a Ohana Kitchen, and it's a Hawaiian slash Korean style place. I mean, it's mostly Hawaiian, but it's owned by a Korean family from Hawaii. Anyway, their food's good, but not as good as the flippin' L&L, which I know that's a controversial statement because some L&Ls are really crummy. But the L&L in my town has the mac salad is super good. The Kahlua Park is not it's not too sweet. It's more smoky than anything, which I really like. Um I don't know, man. I prefer, and not to mention also the L&L is way more reasonably priced. Like it costs less and you get a ridiculous amount of food. So um uh I mean, I know the L&L is like a franchise and whatever, and supporting local small businesses is in theory better, but I like their food better than the local family. Sorry, Ohana Kitchen. Sorry. Um oh wait, Michael Anthony Smith, you're heading out. Okay, you have a good let's see. All right, I'll see you later, Michael Anthony Smith. Thanks for showing up. Glad to see you. Yeah, okay, so Corey, that's right. Pyrex used to be Corning, and now it's not Corning doesn't own it anymore. And so whenever that happened is when the collectors aren't interested after that. They want the Corning Pyrex. That is ringing bells from something that I learned. Yes. Um yeah, have a great rest of your birthday, Michael Anthony Smith. Absolutely. I hope that it is a good one. So, oh, right. Andre, now you can call the color almond milk. Exactly. Um, Ron, well, okay, so lumpia versus lumpia, it's a regional thing. Apparently in Hawaii it's lumpia, but in the Pacific Northwest it's not. But it doesn't really matter because they knew what I was talking about when I was ordering it, and so there you have it. Um, so oh no. Kenny, I'm feeling your pain. You inherited your 70s era Pyrex bowls. They were in the alternate 70s Pyrex color, orange. Yep, exactly. It almost broke your heart when you dropped one and it shattered so many mom's cooking memories. Oh, totally, dude. That would have, yeah. I mean, honestly, it would have broke my heart for a bunch of different reasons. First off, you've got the mom's cooking memories. Then it's just like, oh, I'm gonna have to clean this up, and there's gonna be sharp shards that have flown wherever, and I'm gonna be finding the remnants of this for days, in places that I never thought they would be. And then it's like now the set is not a complete set, and it just, yep. Mm-hmm. Lee, you sold most of your high heel shoes from the 80s on Etsy, still in boxes too. Lady from New York bought. I was going to give to good. Oh, wow. You were going to be. Oh, okay. Okay. So, all right. Let's read this over again. Lee says, I sold most of my high heel shoes from the 80s on Etsy, still in boxes too. Lady from New York bought. I was going to give to Goodwill, but you saw that they were made in Spain and Italy. Right. And so it's just like at that point, it's like, well, maybe I should just Google this label for just a second before I go throwing this away. Because if this shoe is worth maybe $50, why would I throw $50 bill away? Right. Totally. And where is early Corningware also I believe, yes, the early Corningware is also collectible. Isn't the Corningware, that's the white with little blue flower or whatever? Or am I making that up? Because the white stuff with the blue flower is worth stuff. And that's Corningware, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Um, so, and oh, very good point. The bowl doesn't hold the flavors, you remember. Yep, that is true. That is true. So, let's see here. Um, well, yeah, Pyrex was good. Yeah, Pyrex is good to make crack cocaine in, because you can put it in the microwave. So, and when you're making crack, it's safer to make it in the microwave than on the stovetop. I won't even get into why I know that, but I used to do things back in the day, and we'll just leave it at that. So, right, exactly, Kenny Casey, the Filipino lady who used to feed you at your old always called it lumpia. Yeah, exactly. It's everybody's got a little bit of a different pronunciation. I think what really matters though is is it does it taste good? And if it does, then that's all that matters. Yes, baking soda, Andre. That is something that you use when making crack cocaine. And if you want to make freebase, you use the unscented ammonia, not the lemon kind, the kind that smells like ammonia, not the kind that smells like lemons, or rather lemon ammonia. But like I said, we're not going to talk about why I know that. Anyway, so no, the reason why I don't have a microwave anymore, Andre, is because I live in a 500 square foot house and I have no kitchen counter space, and microwaves take up kitchen counter space. And for the most part, all the food that I was cooking in the microwave is pre-made TV dinner type junk food stuff that I don't even need to be eating. So I don't need it. I don't need one. Um, yeah. So hey, Christopher Graves, good to see you. We're talking about making crack cocaine in Pyrex. We're talking about how Pyrex is worth money. We're talking about lumpia. We're talking about all sorts of stuff. And somehow it actually all flowed together. So, um, yeah, no, Rick, exactly. Careful with the old stuff. You've been, oh, so you're saying it was the old stuff that exploded. Oh, see, because I've heard that it's the newer stuff that's less oven safe than the old stuff. But I suppose if you've got a hairline fracture in the old stuff, and makes sense that after a long lifetime of wear and tear, something might do that. Get a hairline fracture, that is. Yeah, it ruined the food and a mess to clean up. Funny, you should say that. I was camping at Claylock, where I showed you guys the video of that campground, in the snow one winter with some of my friends, and I don't know why. I was not a part of any of this plan, actually. I was doing my own thing. But I come to their campsite and they had just finished heating up like a baked ziti or something. For lack of a better term, it was a baked ziti. Some pasta and tomato thing, casserole. And they'd heated it up, and it was in a Pyrex dish. We're camping. In the winter, there's snow on the ground. It's cold. So they're heating this Pyrex dish casserole pasta thing over a camp stove because we don't have an oven. So they finally heated it through, and they're super hungry because it's taken a while. And they go and they put this hot Pyrex that had been on the burner, which if you read the instructions on Pyrex, they tell you don't do that, but we won't get into that. On the burner, they carry it and they put it on the picnic table. The picnic table that's outside in the winter with snow on the ground. Yeah, that casserole dish exploded upon touching that cold surface. The difference between the hot food and the icy cold table, boom! I mean, pasta went everywhere. It's a really good thing nobody got hurt because literally, like, it exploded. It exploded. I don't, Rick, you know what an exploding Pyrex dish does. Hot shards of sharp glass go flying through the air at a high amount of speed. Oh my. Yeah, it was yeah, they didn't get to eat their ziti. They had to make something else and they were really bummed. So, yeah. So, let's see here. Um yeah, cooking with Mad Statter. Yeah, totally. Hey, I didn't say what we were gonna when I posted on my little thing, what's cooking, I didn't say we were gonna didn't say we were gonna talk about what we were gonna be cooking, right? So Cindy, it sounds like if you Google Hawaiian food near you, it gives you 3.5 hour drive. Yeah, I don't Uber that. Just make your own. Don't, yeah. Um, Terry, good to see you. Having brunch with the kids. Excellent. Um, Vent-A-Hood microwave safe space. Well, I can't see my stove. Why would I do that? Uh, yeah, no, I just, they're just not my thing. Um, no, you cannot fry lumpia in Pyrex. Well, actually, you probably could because there was for a minute, they did have Pyrex pots and like pots that you could put on the stovetop. And I don't know why they quit doing those, but, but would assume that you could probably, deep fry lumpia in one of the actual pots by Pyrex, but like I said, they don't make those anymore, and so don't do nothing like that on the stovetop with any Pyrex unless it's an actual pot made for the stovetop. So um so it was, let's see here, Darlene is, I think, going in on the exploding Pyrex story. It was an old 9 by 13 Pyrex pan. I was making a beef roast and carrots in, and it just exploded in the oven. What a mess. Oh, yeah. Gosh, and all the juices. I mean, it's like I can't even. Actually, it doesn't really matter what was in the Pyrex, does it? I mean, liquidy, goopy, whatever. It's still an equal mess. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, no. I know, right, Terry? It's just like Pyrex on an open flame. I don't know what they were thinking. Like I said, I had no part in this plan. Like my campsite was over across the way. I had my own food. I had my own stove. I had my own thing going on. I had nothing to do with their brilliant plan, which started as the most brilliant idea, which is bringing Pyrex camping anyway. I mean, who does that? Well, I can tell you who does that. My friend Sass and his husband John do that. Yeah, but seriously, dude, who does that? Um, yeah, yeah, of course, darling, you had to throw the roast out because I mean, shards. Those you don't know if there's a tiny shard of glass that got in there, and that probably would have been what pissed me off the most if I were you. Is like because roasts aren't cheap. Actually, in fact, this kind of segues nicely. Part of the reason why I was like, I named this stream like "What's Cooking" at Statterbox or whatever it was, is because I need your guys' input. I got some chuck roast, and I don't normally ever cook with big hunks of meat because a big hunk of chuck roast is like $14 and that's scary to me. So because that's not even good meat and it's not expensive. But my store was having chuck roast buy one get one free, so I was like, oh well, if I get $30 worth of chuck roast for like $15, good to go. So now I have a whole bunch of beef in my oven. No, I don't have the beef in my oven yet. Um, it's in my fridge and my freezer. But what I need from you guys is beef chuck roast. Tell me, what do I do with beef chuck roast? Like I don't know. What do I do with beef chuck roast? So I want your recipes, I want your ideas, I want you to tell me what to Google. I want the hints, I want the knowledge, I want the know-how. Um, yeah, beef chuck roast. Because as Darlene says, or as I was saying to Darlene, roast beef is expensive, and you don't want to waste that by having exploding Pyrexes. And I don't want to have exploding Pyrexes, which is probably why I was planning on cooking the beef chuck roast in the enameled cast iron pan that I have. But if you guys have a better idea, then yeah, there we go. And let's see here. And yeah, oh, you haven't even these are just like the family friendly stories. Yeah, right. Crack cocaine, family friendly. Okay, maybe not. But yeah, you you haven't even heard half the stories, my friend. Yeah, glass shrapnel is no joke. Funny you should say that, Andre. So I had a roommate who left a Pyrex lid on a burner that she thought she had turned off. And so she left the kitchen. I was in we were both, I think, in the living room and watching TV or whatever. And suddenly just this huge loud pop and then sort of shattering stuff. And we go in and like there's this huge chunk of Pyrex that, I mean, honestly, if somebody had been in the kitchen, they could have died with that projectile. And it was so hot that it landed in the middle of the linoleum of the kitchen, and it melted a hole in the linoleum. And the glass shat, they were everywhere. There was a hole in the wall. I mean, it was just. We were both very thankful that we weren't in the kitchen at the time, and it's also very safe to assume we didn't get our security deposit back. No, we didn't do that. Yeah, no. Oh, Ron, I'm glad that you think that this is funny because, yeah, I mean, life is funny, right? And so when we're talking about, exploding pots and pans, I mean, honestly, what's cooking? Well, I don't know. Some people don't know how to cook so much that they literally explode their pots and pans. Some people who do know how to cook, obviously, also get to explode their pots and pans. Let's see here. Oh, shock. You wouldn't forget. That's okay. That's okay. Life might have gotten in the way. You're all good. No problem. Oh, Chris, you're heading out, it looks like maybe. Okay. Oh, here we go. Gonna go moi moi, hang out. Yep. All right. Have a good one. Maybe I'll see you on Thursday. Hope to see you on Thursday. Yes, good to see you. Yeah, Chris is slipping out. Shock is slipping in. We're all good. We're all good. Awesome. So, yeah, so let's see here. I was hey, so last gosh, I wish I could stop saying last stream, not last night, but on Thursday, I made a little bit of a mistake and I was like, I'm going to show you this thing. And then I went to show you this thing and the thing wasn't there to show you. So I'm going to show you this thing. And this thing has to do with here. This thing has to do with this thing. Red Bull. I love Red Bull. And so does this roller derby skater named Lauren Much. Lauren Much is a roller derby skater that started out in Kitsap County, and she is right here in the upper level with her little I've circled her face is what I'm trying to say with those arrows. See those arrows and that circled face? Yeah, that's a little girl named Lauren. She's not a little girl anymore though. She's grown up. But this is a roller derby team that was started out with a bunch of little kids, age like, I don't know, 5 and 6 in the first rows, all the way up through 18. Once Lauren graduated from the junior derby scene, she went down to Portland, Oregon, and became one of the star players for the world champion, team, Portland, oh, good Lord. Rose City Rollers. There we go. That's what it's called. Rose City Rollers. And she was so impressive. Red Bull. I forgot I needed to do some things and stuff. Red Bull decided to give her operating gear for the roller derby crew. Oops, I need to stop doing things. No. Stop. All right. That was a problem. Sorry about that. Yeah. So I know, Darlene, wasn't it? That what a nice move. Yeah, exactly. It's it it is amazing the feats of athleticism that you see on the roller derby track. Uh, Even without eight wheels under their feet, the feats of strength that you see are phenomenal. And then when you add the fact that they're all on wheels, it just boggles the mind. One thing I can tell you though about roller derby, as you know, as with many sports, it kind of gets stinky. Like, as Ann Ware asked, like, are those wrist guards? Yes, those are wrist guards. And not only are those wrist guards, I have seen skaters after, I was going to say after rehearsal, but after practice, remove their wrist guard and then they'll somehow accidentally like get a whiff of their own wrist and they'll gag, like they'll gag themselves. It's, yeah, it's wrists apparently get pretty sweaty. Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh my gosh, you had bottomless mimosas at brunch? Yeah, you might have to take a nap after that stream. Goodness gracious. Yeah, you sound like you had a great day. Hey, Devin, good to see you. Yeah, what's cooking? Well, well, you missed a discussion on how to cook crack cocaine in Pyrex. You missed a discussion on um, the value of Pyrex and Corningware. But what I am wondering, and you will perhaps be someone who can help me, I've got um a hunk of chuck roast, beef chuck roast, and I have no idea what to do with it. So I want someone to boss me around and say, you need to make a pot roast. And in the pot roast, there's going to be carrots and onions and potatoes. Are there potatoes on pot roast? I don't really know. Whatever. Yeah. So there we go. Um, that is, yeah, that's what we're talking about right now, basically. So, Shakalak, walk into a dojo and you can get a hint of just a hint of the tang. People take their stuff home and wash it, but still, yeah. Actually, I've walked past some dojos where you don't even have to go in. Like when the doors open, you walk past and you're like, "Ooh, yeah, they're working out in there. You can tell they're not faking it. They're sweating in there." Hmm. Oh, I'm sure boxing wraps probably do smell disgusting and should be washed every time. Yeah, I will say that a lot of derby people, and actually hockey people, from what I understand, they can get a little lax about their hygiene when it comes to washing their pads, and it's problematic. You can definitely tell as someone who officiated roller derby, you can definitely tell the skaters that take pad hygiene seriously versus those who do not. Um, because the stench is, yeah, it can be overwhelming. Yes. So, okay. So, and yeah, all that protective gear, the roller derby equivalent to the full battle rattle. You got it. Yep. That's exactly it. Yeah. That's why when we, when we were watching Whip It, and the girls on the team gave her her first mouth guard at the first bout. Oh my god, that was painful for me. It was just like she should have had that. That should have been the mouth guard. Should have been she. Who cares about the wrist guard? She needed the mouth guard before she needed the wrist guards. Yeah. So right. Oh my god, hockey stink exactly. And Anne, I'm telling you, derby stink and hockey stink are remarkably similar. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, all right, so it looks like my plea for beef stuff is being heard. So Shock says the potatoes are acceptable in with the pot roast unless you're her. Understandable. I get it. I hear what you're saying. Devin wants me to brown that bad boy up. I don't think my mom ever did that. And I kind of wondered, because I've seen that. I think I will. Garlic salt. Well, that's a given. But yeah, okay, I'm on the same page. Garlic salt. Oh, Terry. Okay, wait. Now we're talking about bottomless mimosas. So we're dual topicking here. Terry, guava and lilikoi mimosas. How are you even standing or able to type without slurring? I mean, how did you? Good Lord. I would have I don't know if I would have been able to eat any food with all of if you said that they're bottomless mimosas and that's what they were. I'm not so sure I would have been eating any eggs or bacon. I would have just been drinking. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm proud of that, but with those flavors, dude, dude. Um, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, the guys aren't as diligent as some of the girls. Well, that's funny you should say that. My friend Sass, who shows up here every once in a while, he um he played derby and he was extremely diligent about keeping his pads clean. So much so that like people would actually other players would actually like sniff him and just be like, how do you not smell, and he was so remarkably unscented that even people who were used to a level of scent were just like, whoa, what, there's something missing, man, where's your funk? Mm-hmm. um Oh, I'm not even going to talk about what that's talking about. Okay, so if I really want to cheat, get a packet of pot roast mix and bake it in the bag. You can just pop the seasoning in the bag with the meat and the veggies and bake it. I don't know what that even is. I don't know. I don't do I don't I don't even make my own taco seasoning. Or excuse me, I don't even buy my own tacos. Like I make my own taco seasoning. I don't there's There's, like, packets that are just like, "Pot roast flavor." I had no idea. Um, yeah, alright then, I had no idea. Um, yeah, okay, so, yeah, Andre, hockey is at least is cold, so the smell doesn't spread as fast as it does in a hot hanger. That's true, but once you're in the locker room, all things start changing. Um, no pun intended. Locker room changing, get it? Yeah, that was funny. So, oh no, oh no. A Ware says a lot of the young guys at your MMA gym thought a lot of Axe body spray would substitute for washing their gear. Oh, geez, that would just ferment into a horrific aroma. Yeah. No, no. Uh, Shaq non-stinking means he's a vampire. God, that would be really difficult because he's a vegetarian, and I'm not so sure vegetarians can be vampires. I mean, I'm not an expert on vampires, so who knows? If you can suck some blood from a beet, then he'd be all over it. But I'm not so sure. So, okay, so let's see. Darlene, I'm right there with you. I would have had to been carried out. Uh-huh. Um, just ask Rick. He says you were a cheap date. You can't drink worth a dang. That is so funny. Um, um, all right. So, oh, good, Lee. You know what? You have knee pads. Good plan. Yeah. When I was doing there's one particular position in roller derby that requires you to be on your knees in the center of the track. You're working with a whiteboard and you have to basically you're working from 3 foot down to the floor. And yeah, it's amazing how even though, you're not falling, you're just on your knees, like, heck yeah, dude, you need those pads. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Kenny, your mom and your sister, where did it go? Here we go. Your mom and your sister always seared their pot roast in the stove, then finished on the stove, then finished in the oven with taters and carrots. Beyond that, I have no clue. Okay. Um, okay, Rick, don't pour barbecue sauce over that chuck roast and then grill it. I can follow that instruction happily because anything that requires me not to use barbecue sauce is something that I can live with. Yeah. So, okay, so all right, you guys, I don't know what to tell you here, but I don't have a crock pot either. I don't have a crock pot. I don't have a microwave. I'm living in the Stone Ages when it comes to kitchenware. So, yeah, sorry, Devin, I don't use a crock pot. So, no. Yeah. Um, ugh. Just yeah, we're not even gonna talk about the stench anymore because that's just so awful. Let's see here. Oh, vegan vampires have to go eat those big walking trees they had in Lord of the Rings. I like those big walking trees. I don't want them to get eaten by vegan vampires. I don't have any stone. Oh, you know what? I do have some stoneware. I used to have a stoneware dish that shattered, and oh god, I was so pissed. I love that stoneware dish. But I have another stoneware dish that I have literally never used, so I might be able to use that. But I was gonna what I was gonna do is I was gonna use my enameled cast iron Dutch oven stew dish that I was gonna use the thing that my mom used to use when she made stew. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um wait, what? You need a vat of the blue stuff they put in the combs in the barbers, just put in the knee pads overnight. Oh, to refresh. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea, but that's an idea. Um Oh, it looks like C Honda just came in. Excellent. Good to see you. We are talking about gross things like stinky clothes from athletes. We're also talking about how to cook pot roast, and we were talking about Pyrex and how valuable it is and how valuable it isn't, and how you can use Pyrex to make crack cocaine too. And now we're talking about vegan vampires. And despite all of that nonsense that I just told you, it actually, the conversation got there naturally. So here you go. Um, yeah, exactly, Kenny Casey. Bad sports, bad hygiene, and body scent dousings. That funk can morph into a science fiction horror movie. You are nailing the nail on the head there. Hitting the nail on the head there. That's what I meant to say. There you go. Um, well, the Dutch oven I have, it my mom okay, it's no, the Dutch oven I have right now is actually in the cupboard, not on the stove. I could use it on the stove because it's cast iron, so it's safe to use on the stove top. But it's got a lid, super heavy. I've always used it in the oven. So, so either or, I guess I could say it'll work on the stove or in the oven. It's all good. Um, Yeah, so Darlene and Shock mentioning, I had this stoneware thing that my mom had, which was like a stoneware bowl that then had like a lid or a base, like they either could be used as the lid, either could be used as the base, like it didn't really matter. Both sides were up depending on how you were using it. And I used to use the bait, what I call the base, which was just it was like a stoneware dish, shallow sides, round, whatever. But I've never used the actual stoneware bowl for anything. And I have a stoneware pizza stone, that could act as a lid for that bowl. So I might have to try using that stoneware bowl. I just might have to break in that stoneware bowl. Um, yeah, so there we go. No, we're not talking about how to roast or fish, Devin. You're so silly. Um, Andre, the flowchart of this chat would be interesting. Yeah, God help anybody who has to actually do the transcription, right? Oh, bummer, C Honda. Yeah, so you broke your Pyrex last week into a million pieces. We were discussing all the various ways that Pyrex might explode. Did you drop it? Was it a heat stress thing? Was it part of a set? We're feeling your pain because Pyrex can be valuable, and if it's part of a set, you don't want to lose the set. Yeah. And Rick Prell, if we were on Twitch and if I was a little bit more tech savvy, I would have a Twitch emote for everybody to throw down. It would be a Prell Twitch emote. I almost had one made, but then I didn't do it right. And speaking of almost had one made, oh, and the tech that I don't know how to do. So the thumbnail for this particular stream, I spent hours, hours making that thumbnail. And I'm sure you guys are going to look at that thumbnail and go, dude, you cropped a picture. How did that take hours? Yeah, exactly. How did that take hours? It didn't. What took hours was the vision I had was the picture that's on the thumbnail. The picture is this store and it's what's cooking, right? So the picture has what's cooking in it. I was going to be so smart and I was going to add text and I was going to have what's cooking at the Statterbox. That was going to be my thumbnail. And I imported that picture into whatever it was that I was doing, the little thing. And I spent a really long time first figuring out even how to use the software that I'd never used before. Then I was figuring out fonts, then I was figuring out colors, and then I was figuring out everything. And I'd say that I probably spent about an hour and a half of fiddling, learning, first off learning, more time learning than anything, and then fiddling. And then I came up with something that was like, okay, enough. So I saved it and then I posted it. And yeah, all that text that I spent an hour and a half doing, it didn't save at all. It was just the same picture that I started with. So I said, okay, we're done here. We're just going to leave it like that. And so, yeah. And that's why when I say for next week, I'm going to attempt to get the software so I can pull movies from the internet. But just because I get the software, just because I find a movie, just because I try to pull it, doesn't mean it's going to actually work, which is why we've got Boo! A Medea Halloween as a backup plan. Because sometimes, even when you're like, yeah, I did it, you didn't do it. At least that's how it works for me. So there you have it. Yeah. Yeah. So, Ron, isn't Prel a shampoo? Prel is a shampoo, and I threaten people with it. If they're being bad. I say, I'll sick the Prel on you. And that's why I wanted to have a Prel emote. And yes, actually, no, I cannot show the Prel ad right now because I don't have it hooked up and I can't, but I will pull it for next stream because Anne did send me a little, an old Prel ad. And if that particular Prel ad that she sent me doesn't strike the fear of Prel into you, well, then nothing will. Nothing will. Yep. So let's see here. Darlene, okay, so wait, we're going back. So, okay, we've got some good ideas here. An exploding Pyrex emote could be good. And oh wow, I have missed a whole bunch of chat here. So let's see here. Okay, so Lee, sear the meat on, now we're back to talking about the pot roast. Sear the meat on the stove, put it into the oven. You get to keep all the juices in the same pot. Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to use the enameled cast iron container because I can do that on the stove. And then we'll heat that up real good, sear up the meats, finish it in the ovens. Okay. So interesting, Andre, in the Vietnam War, they tried to use machines that could smell BO, aka the human scent, to find the enemy. I did read that the recon helicopter who flew really low could smell large groups of people in the jungle. Well, yeah, but I mean, if you have to get really close, that just sort of seems, I don't know if that's a good idea. So, Shock, I don't know what you're talking about, new Pyrex or the original. Well, we discussed that. And the stuff that's worth a lot of money is the original. The stuff that's not worth a lot of money is not the original. Um, so okay, so Anne says a metal pan with aluminum foil would work in the oven too. For Christmas, the roast we make is too big for any of our other dishes. Wow, fancy pants. Um, you guys need to invest in a good roasting pan, Anne. If you guys are that big, I've got a roasting pan that's like literally you couldn't get a pan any bigger into the oven, I don't think. I took it from my mom. Uh, so oh, see, Honda, so you dropped your 9 by 13 and it was used so much. Yeah, I had a 9 by 13 pink Pyrex and I really or raspberry whatever color scheme it was when I got them in the 90s. I hated the color, but but I have to say when I dropped mine and broke it, I was really heartbroken because I used it all the time. 9 by 13 is, I mean, that's the go-to size, right? Um So, Darlene, someone told you that Dawn detergent is not only good for removing grease, but odors as well, but you haven't used it. I wouldn't be surprised because a lot of odors linger because there's still sort of a greasy human biome grease residue. So, if it's a good degreaser, you would think that it would get that off. And I do know that when it comes to like a homemade skunk solution for like your dog or whatever, if they get in, or even you, I suppose, if you get sprayed, is Dawn and then like hydrogen peroxide and baking soda. That all mixed together is what gets the scent out the best. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dawn actually does do something like that. So uh-oh, what's ET doing? So you're allergic to ET, you're allergic to fragrances, so use OxiClean to remove stink and whiten clothes with your non-smelly laundry detergent. Yeah, I too only use non-smelly laundry detergent. I've never used OxiClean though. Um so let's see here. Um all right. So, oh, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. Hey you guys, how about I'm going to catch up on chat, right? Uh-oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to catch up on the chat, but while I catch up on the chat, we're going to watch a Lono video. All right, excelente. We have got some Lono in the house today, and it looks like you guys were able to chat quite a bit without me. Awesome, because once the chatter scatters, everyone has something to say. And yeah, Aware and Where, thanks for stepping in. It is that was off of the Molokai Evie Band YouTube channel, not the Lono Music YouTube channel. And I honestly, off the top of my head, cannot remember which old style album that particular song is off of. But Kenny, I will do some research. I was trying to look it up on my phone, but my music app kept shutting down. So I can hit you up to let you know what album that is later on this afternoon. Or this evening. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember unless and where assistant loan librarian can step in and say, "Oh yeah, that's old style, 4 or whatever." Um, so Evie, Devin, how do you phonetically pronounce Evie in Hawaiian? It's Evie. It's like the name of the band kind of got its start because Earl E and Vic V were the main members of the band. So Evie, it was the Evie Molokai band. So it's Evie. Um, it means bones. So, or bone, whatever. I'm not sure if it means bones or bone, but so Ron, you brought up many chats ago the Clorox tablets. Those are brilliant. I didn't even know that they had Clorox tablets. I don't like using bleach because it splashes and I wear all black. But so I mean, but the tablets, that sounds perfect. That sounds like something I need to look into. And Shakalak, you go night night. Time for moi moi, and we will hopefully see you sometime. Well, hopefully I'll see you next Thursday. Oh no, I won't see you next Thursday because you're going to be busy. So hopefully I'll see you next Saturday on Statterbox at the cinema. If not, maybe we'll see you next Sunday, and perhaps we'll even catch you online because, as we might know or might not know, um, it is. That song is on Lono's Old Style 4. I was actually just pulling that out of my head. So there you go. Old Style 4. Um, yeah, we won't be getting Andy this week because he's going to get a new roof, which is awesome. So this coming week, we can still fill in for that Daily Pigeon slot or not. It's all good. It sounds like Andy's going to be coming back at a slightly different time, so we don't necessarily need to keep that slot warm. On the other hand, it is kind of nice to catch up with each other in the morning, so there you have it. All right, Medium 7 Up, I will see you in the coming days. Have yourself a good night. And e-music, Evie can also refer to your ancestors. I did not realize that. Fantastic. Thank you for spreading that knowledge. Kind of makes sense. Bones, ancestors. I mean, I get that. Um, yeah, so Devin, yeah, you weren't there for Coraline. I mean, I guess you didn't miss anything because you've seen it before, but yeah, Coraline went really well. I had never seen that movie before. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be holiday appropriate. But it was creepy enough that it was definitely Halloween appropriate, and I liked it way more than I thought I would. In fact, it's a really good movie, and I probably will watch it again. There's some things like I feel like I missed some things. Visually speaking, there's a lot going on. I think I would like to see that movie again. And as Andre says, yes, Coraline was Goth Kid approved. Absolutely, it was. So oh, cool. Michi Mama, you changed your name and didn't lose the chat. I forgot it's only on Twitch that happens. Yeah, yeah, luckily where are we? We're on YouTube, I think, right? Yeah, they're a little easier to catch back up on the chat with. Um so yeah, and so speaking of Statterbox at the cinema, next week, as I've mentioned, we are going to be doing something for sure. And if nothing else, we're going to be doing Boo, Medea Halloween. It's a Tyler Perry movie. I've never seen that one, but Tyler Perry movies for the most part are mindless chuckle fests. So, but if I do, but the goal though is to actually work from the list that we cultivated together. But in order for that to happen, I need to figure out how to download stuff off of the interwebs and figure out how to restream it. And as my story about simply adding text to a picture points out sometimes the easiest tech. I mean, come on, you guys. How many weeks did it take me to figure out how to use my headphones, right? So I'm not making any promises that I'm going to, just because I get the software doesn't mean I'm going to know how to use it. So yeah. So there you go. Oh, hey, Music is Life. Evie. See, I was right. Earl and Vic. Good to see you, Music is Life. Yeah, so I didn't make that up. It's Evie. Excellent. Fantastic. Yeah. So, oh, Devin, it is a great film to pick apart. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, because like I said, visually speaking, I think I missed a lot of things that could have been super cool. So, good to see you here, Lono. Haven't seen you for a while, but then again, we haven't seen you for a while because Andy's not been around. Nobody's been around. Nobody except for everybody's been around because we're filling in Andy's spots. And let's see here. I think, even though, oh no, not the other Mad Statter. I don't know who the other Mad Statter is. Well, I mean, I do have more than one personality, so maybe there's that. My sister, in fact, says, spin the wheel of personality, see which one you get whenever she's talking to me. Yeah, Music is Life. He is the king of the K crew, I think. Yeah, exactly. So he's one of our lurkers with a capital K. Um, I have to go through the little door to find out. Oh, right. The other Mad Statter. Okay. Oh, so slow. Yeah. There you go. All right. So, let's see here. I think, gosh, I think we might be wrapping this up. Now that I know how I'm going to cook my pot roast with no barbecue sauce, and it sounds like potatoes are going to be acceptable in the pot roast, so that's good. Now, I don't know if I know, right, Anne? Siblings. Exactly. Yep. Uh, so, yeah. So, unless anybody has any more questions about like how to make crack cocaine and Pyrex in a microwave or something like that, I could throw down with my recipe. No, just kidding. I don't have a recipe. Never mind. But yeah, Pyrex, you can make crack with it. And yeah, there you go. You guys know how to make crack with Pyrex. I know how to make a pot roast now. I think this is all good, right? Oh, 5 more minutes, Mom. Okay, Kenny. I guess I won't turn this car around. Um, so Terry, do not cook your pot roast in a Pyrex over an open flame. Well, and on top of that, if you do crack roast, exactly, that's it. If you do cook your Pyrex pot roast on an open flame, don't put that Pyrex on a freezing table. So you're then, so then you're eating glass meat because it just explodes everywhere. Talk about crack roast. That's actually exactly what would happen is the Pyrex, it's cracked glass all up in your roast. Exactly. So, all right, Darlene. Yeah, it's getting to be late, and so I think we probably should wind it up real soon. I'm so glad everybody could hang out today, and I will hopefully see you guys sometime next week. I don't think I'm going to be doing my Twitch Monday morning stream tomorrow. I've got a really busy day at work, and I need to just hit the ground running. When I get out of bed tomorrow. So, yeah, it is exactly Pyrex floating on an open flame. I can't remember earlier, somebody else made a little Christmas song about the exploding Pyrex. And so, yeah, we should compose a nice winter melody for the Pyrex crew, and perhaps the Statterbox can present Pyrex with a theme song. And if Pyrex doesn't take up our offer, then we can go bark at Burger King. And always, we're going to be, working with Prowl, as you guys know. So, yeah, exactly. Okay, good, Devin. You'll be on tomorrow if Shock doesn't beat you to it. Fantastic. Then I think we'll be seeing each other tomorrow on Twitch at Devin's stream. But eMusic has something important for me to know. Carrots, celery, potatoes are usually cooked with the pot roast. You can buy them all in the frozen mixed vegetables for easier cooking. Well, eMusic, it's funny you should say that because I have carrots, celery, and potatoes that, well, the celery for the most part is the one that's like, ooh, I really need to use that. The potatoes and the carrots are kind of more fresh. So I actually have that, but I'm wondering, and fine, I know we're supposed to be wrapping this up, but I'm asking anyway. What about mushrooms? Like, are they in pot? My mom never made pot roast. She like sometimes would make stew. Her stew did have mushrooms. But is there mushrooms in pot roast? I don't know. Could I put mushrooms in my pot roast? So okay, and where it was you, you're repeating yourself. Okay, good. Well, I didn't talk about it before, so I'm glad you brought it up again because sometimes, if things go by and I miss things. So, Kenny Casey, don't put Pyrex over an open flame until you can see the whites of your enemy's eyes. Exactly. Yeah, and then once you do, then you run and let them come see and then let oh, what are they cooking? It smells so good. Come closer. Let it explode. Um, so, Cindy, you've blown up Pyrex. I'm starting to wonder who hasn't blown up their Pyrex at one point in their life. It seems like blowing up Pyrex is something that we've all done in one way or another. I mean, I guess technically I've never blown up my Pyrex. Famous last words. I've broken Pyrex, but I've just been within proximity to several Pyrex explosions that were brought upon by other people's actions. But it does seem like exploding Pyrex is a thing for sure. So, okay, so right, you're right, Anne, where the mushrooms should go in later or they'll go all moosh. Wonder if maybe I should just make a side of mushrooms and then just add them in at the last, and then add them in when I serve it. Um, okay, Ron, what is Devon's live stream and which platform? Devon will be on Twitch tomorrow, and I think her name is Devon80. Only on Twitch, she spells it. Oh gosh, Devon, I really hope that you would spell this for him because I'm going to get it wrong, but I think it's DAEVYN 80. And if it's not that, then it's DEAVYN 80. But it's on Twitch. And Devin, I'm sorry that I can't give you a shout out for more betters, but what's your username on Twitch so Ron can go find you? So okay, so Devin, you wouldn't say that mushrooms are traditional, but okay, but I can put whatever I want. You'd use wine instead of mushrooms. That's a good idea. And I think I might have some wine that I could use. So let's see here. And where kitchen arsenal, Pyrex, cast iron skillet, and the big guns and the big guns or the pressure cooker. I have a pressure cooker. I used to use it to sterilize grain so I could grow mushrooms, but that's out in the shed now. So, yeah. Oh, Mitchy Mama, you haven't blown up a glass casserole dish, but your son did. You were pissed. Yep, exactly. Combat cookware, that's right. Okay. Talking about crack, have you ever heard William S. Burroughs' The Junkie's Christmas? I feel like I have, but it's not ringing any bells, so I will have to look into that, and we can talk about that later. So, pressure cookers. Yeah, the pressure cooker that I have isn't the pressure cooker that I have is the big kind, the kind that you use for like canning and stuff like that. Not just the kind that you cook beets in or whatever. Yeah, okay, see, Kenny, Kenny, I'm so glad we're here on the same page, you and I, right now. Kenny says, I really want to know how your pot roast saga comes out. I'm probably going to try whatever you try. I've eaten a lot of roast, but never made one. That's exactly it. Like I said a couple streams ago, we had roast almost every Sunday at my house, but buying a roast is like a big commitment. Roasts are kind of like a chunk of money, and I don't want to mess it up. So, yeah, I will definitely let you guys know just what chaos ensues when I make my little pot roast, and hopefully it'll be tasty. Now, Andre, this is the second time you've mentioned this Hawaiian pot roast, and it uses a pressure cooker. I can appreciate why a pressure cooker would be used for pot roast because pot roast take a really long time and blah blah blah. But what I'm wondering is, what is the seasoning profile on? See, this is what happens. We're wrapping this up, and now I'm asking for a recipe. So, Andre, what is the seasoning profile on the Hawaiian pot roast? Like, is it teriyaki flavored? Do you use like what? Like, what's the? Do you tell me about this Hawaiian pot roast? Because I've got two chunks of meat, and so I might want to do something other than what I do. Um, Devin, is there a cat walking on your keyboard? um, yeah, a lot of people really are like the pressure cooker. Yeah, and especially back in the 50s and 60s, pressure cookers were, and you're just talking about like the little ones, right? The ones that are little, not the big ones. The big ones is what I have. The big one is what I have. Oh God, Michi Mama, I am right there with you. Please don't say add pineapple. I Pineapple with beef, I don't really, that's not really, yeah. Um, so I wonder if Mad Statter could make her pot roast in the dishwasher, assuming her dishwasher was working. You know, I don't know if that would get, I don't know if that would get hot enough for long enough. And I have heard people cooking stuff in the dishwasher, and frankly, there's nothing about that I really am like, I've cooked things on the engine of my car while I'm driving. Um, but I don't think I want to cook anything in my dishwasher at all. Oh gosh, Devin, I'd have to move so many things I mean, I have thought about trying to do a cooking thing. Oh, in fact, here we go. So I made these things. I call them porigi manapua. I made these all by myself. And I thought about doing a little cooking show to show you how to make these little things all by myself. And what that is actually linguiça, Filipino style sausage fried up and then wrapped in biscuit dough, like, you know, Pillsbury, I guess, whatever, the stuff you buy in the refrigerator at the grocery store, pre-made biscuits, and made the dough super, 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 super thin, and wrapped it around the linguiça, and then I steamed them for 20 minutes, and they don't look nearly as pretty as Manapua, because it's all pockmarked, and the dough is very different, but God, it's really tasty. It's super easy. I mean, it's like I said, it's Portuguese Manapua. It's not really Manapua, because Manapua, shoot, just to make the dough alone is like a half day flipping ordeal. And so, yeah. And so I did think about doing a cooking show to show you, just the random stuff that I do, but getting the camera angles, oh, doing a kitchen show, doing a cooking show seems like it would be really easy, and I'll tell you right now, it is not at all. But and so all right, so I'm gonna go back up because Andre's got a pretty good looking recipe here. So we've got 1 large red onion chopped, 1 tablespoon peanut oil, 2 pounds boneless beef chuck roast, salt, pepper, 2 teaspoons fresh grated ginger, 3 medium garlic cloves, half a cup soy sauce, half a cup rice vinegar, and 1 teaspoon red pepper. I've got all of that. No, I don't have red onion. I have a regular onion. I don't have peanut oil. I have vegetable oil, and my red pepper would be cayenne. But for the most part, I've got that. I might have to, I don't think I'm going to try that one tonight, but I think I might have to try that one. And you have a steam oven? I didn't even know that there was such thing as a steam oven. I mean, no, I didn't know that there was a such thing. I didn't know that people could have steam ovens. I mean, I've heard of steam trays and I've heard of steamers, but I've never heard of a steam oven. And I don't think it would help with cleaning up, frankly, because you're still going to have to. I'd be more worried about the soapy water getting in my food. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's quick and easy Manipua. Precisely. I mean, it's not, and okay, I will tell you this right now. When it's steaming hot, it's acceptable. But when it's cold, just like with regular Manipua, I don't really like it when it's room temperature. It gets too bready, it's too doughy, it's too dry. So you need to, like, re-steam it if you're gonna eat it after the original cooking. But yeah, it was really, it was way better than I thought it was going to be. So let's see here. Yeah, exactly. Your mom made barbecue pork bones once from scratch, and it's a lot of work. Yeah, like I said, just the dough alone is practically a half a day project. So, and where you guys always make me so hungry. Well, last stream we didn't talk about food at all, except for at the very last second. And I was like, you guys, we can't talk about this now because that'll just keep us, we'll just keep talking for hours once we start talking about food. So, uh, oh no, you ran out of space, but that version had pineapple, but there's more than one. We're not going to use the pineapple, Andre. We're not going to use the pineapple. No. Um, Wow, interesting. So there's a couple brands that have countertop steam ovens. You have an in-wall oven, and it's your favorite appliance. You sound like you've got a fancy pants kitchen there, Anne. I might have to come visit you just so we can cook together. Um, Dishwasher pot roast equals clean beef. Yep, there you go. Oh, roast turkey in the steam oven probably does come out perfectly, I bet. Yeah, because turkeys can get a little bit dry. And yeah, see, Honda, isn't it weird how they, like, sometimes they're just, it's like there's not enough filling. But then, as someone who made that Podigi someone who made that bow, um, I like overstuffed them because I don't want too much dough. And even with what I thought was overstuffing them, to the point where, like, folding the fold and closing the dough back up was very difficult. Even still, once it all puffed out, and it didn't puff nearly as much as the real doughs would, it's still, without it being hot and fresh, it was too doughy. So yeah, if you do decide to do what I did with that thing and that stuff, be sure to roll the dough out as thin as you can, and then stuff as much stuffing as you can to the point where it's hard to fold the dough together. Because even doing that, you'll end up with a lot more bread than you thought. So there you go. Okay, so now we really need to wrap it up because I just babbled more about foods and stuff than we needed to know. So, Ann Ware says no pineapple. I agree, no pineapple. I think we've got a bunch of people on the same page. No pineapple in the pot roast. That's just not acceptable. Even if it's Hawaiian pot roast, no pineapple. No pineapple. Hey, Chris, you're back. I thought, wait, what? What are you doing here, man? I thought you were supposed to go moi moi. All right, so yeah, so you made Lao Lao from scratch back home in Beaverton, Oregon. So, oh no, yeah, there you go. Oh, and where I'm gonna steal that, wrap it up like a burrito. That is something that I think the Statterbox is gonna be hearing from now on. And so, yeah, exactly. See, Honda, never mind. You go to the Chinese store and buy them. Yeah, exactly, exactly. That was, yeah. No, the only reason why I did what I did was because it was like I had like a half a packet of the sausage left, and I had a half a packet of the the dough, the biscuit dough, because I don't, it's just me. And so to make 8 biscuits from one of those containers, that's just stupid. That's going to go to waste. So I only make a couple at a time. And so I was like, oh, I need to use this stuff up. And I was like, well, what if I do that? And so I did that. Yeah. Um, and so, Kenny Casey, you're gonna pillage your fridge when this chat is pow. Yep, that's it. Um, if you do decide to do that thing with the thing that I did, yes, you can quote me on that. That is exactly it. So okay, so Chris is now going moi moi for sure. We are gonna wrap this up like a burrito, and if you want that extra guac, well, you're gonna have to hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and hit that follow button. And I will see you guys next Thursday, 4:30 p.m. West Coast time. 1:30 Hawaiian time, 7:30 on the East Coast, and midnight 30 for those UK types. Until then, I hope you guys eat well, and I will let you all know just how that pot roast turns out. And yeah, until then, catch you later. Bye.